Hi everyone, welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Clark Wolf, and this is our daily show bringing you the latest in movie news with insight into what it all means. Joining me, as always, is AMC Movie News Editor-in-Chief John Campea. John, good morning.
Good morning. Greetings and salutations, everybody. Happy LeBron James Day. Congratulations, all kneel before the king.
And also joining us this morning is AMC Movie News Associate Editor, Ms. Amy Rose Eisenbach. Amy Rose, good morning.
Hi there. Still proud of you, Spurs. What a series. Well played. And Kobe's coming for your next season. What's up, LeBron?
What is up?
Kobe will be coming to deliver your fries and shake.
Whoa.
Do.
Okay. Well, our terrifying national nightmare is over. It's been officially confirmed that Robert Downey Jr. has signed on to do the upcoming Marvel films Avengers 2 and Avengers 3. Marvel Studios announced Thursday that Downey has signed a deal to return as billionaire playboy philanthropist Tony Stark and his heroic alter ego Iron Man. The movies will be Downey's 5th and 6th times playing Iron Man on the big screen, respectively. John, is this good news for the Marvel franchise?
Yeah, I think overall this is actually really, really good news. I think we've all wanted Robert Downey Jr. back. I predicted that I thought we would definitely see him back for Avengers 2, but I did not think Avengers 3. So this is kind of a nice little note. Some people are a little bit surprised that, they are making a big deal out of, notice there's no Iron Man 4 listed in there. Well, the real estate in between Avengers 2 and Avengers 3 is getting pretty packed. I really don't think whether they had Robert Downey Jr. on contract for 2 more films or 25 more films, I don't think there was going to be an Iron Man 4 in between Avengers 2 and 3 anyway. I still think there'll be an Iron Man 4 sometime after Avengers 3 without Robert Downey Jr. But, hey, it's really good that they signed him for 2 films. This gives us some consistency. This gives us some peace and quiet on this whole issue for the next number of years. This is a really good move all the way around. So, yeah, this is really good stuff. Amy Rose?
Yeah, this is excellent. I mean, he's so wonderful at that role. Does he own a small country now? Yeah. Because I can't even imagine how much they signed him for. So I'm really excited about this. I mean, we all know that this really, brought him back in Hollywood's good graces and really kind of jump-started his career again. And he's just, they're synonymous with each other. They're amazing. And I really do believe that most trilogies are better left as trilogies. Most of the time, they do wrap it up, maybe leaving room a little bit if they make a lot of money. Obviously, the money issue is not the thing here because, as we know, Iron Man 3 has set a lot of records. But I do think that we don't need to see a 4th film in the franchise. Of course, they're going to reboot it eventually. Of course, we're going to have to learn to live with another Iron Man. But until that happens, I'm so glad to hear that Robert Downey Jr. is back. And I'm really excited for how Joss Whedon's going to continue the Avengers story that we loved so much in the first.
Yesterday, we reported that actress Shailene Woodley and her character, Mary Jane Watson, had been pulled out of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, despite the fact that she already shot her scenes for the film. Director Mark Webb put out a statement conveying that they all loved working with Woodley, but decided to push the Mary Jane character back to Spider-Man 3 for story reasons. To add to the drama, yesterday, A Dangerous Method and Cosmopolis star Sarah Gadon confirmed she would be joining the Amazing Spider-Man franchise, which is already set to go to 4 films. Gadon didn't confirm which role she'd be playing in the series, but many have already begun to speculate that she will become the new Mary Jane and will replace Woodley. Amy Rose, what do you make of all of this Mary Jane drama?
Drama indeed. People love to speculate when a big change happens, and I do like that Mark Webb did decided to introduce Mary Jane later on in the franchise because it was already feeling really crowded. And let's really have Gwen and Peter's relationship, until the eventual fate. Sorry, spoilers, if you don't know how the comic ends, I'm sorry. But I do think it was the right move. But I really like Shailene Woodley. I think she's a phenomenal actress. I think she's a rising star. She was incredible in The Descendants. The depth and emotional, she brought so much to that role. And holding your own against George Clooney is not an easy thing, and she really did. So I really hope that scheduling conflicts was the reason and they weren't like, she's not good enough, because I think she could be a solid Mary Jane. Of course, I didn't see, what she brought to the screen in that capacity, but I think she's a good actress. And I haven't seen enough of Sarah's work to really judge. She's a babe. She's a beautiful woman. So obviously, well done, Peter Parker. But I do think Shailene would have done a really good job. So only time will tell if this is really just a rumor, because, there's plenty other roles she could possibly be. But, people love to jump on the bandwagon and point fingers and see what happens. So we'll see how it unfolds. But I do think either way, having Mary Jane not in this film was the right move.
Yeah, we mentioned that on the show. I mentioned on the show yesterday that I really respect both Mark Webb and Sony saying, hey, look, this isn't working for the story. It's overcrowded. It's convoluting it. Let's just remove it. I like that. Now, let's get to this whole thing about, is Shailene Woodley actually out as Mary Jane? I've gotten so many emails in the past, 18 hours. John, did you hear? It's been confirmed that, Shailene Woodley is out and this other girl is in. No, it's not. Let's just set the record straight. That is not official. Nobody is claiming that. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you, like Dennis and I were talking about this yesterday, the first thought that went through my head when I heard that Shailene Woodley, they were pulling Mary Jane out of Spider-Man 2 to save her for Spider-Man 3, first thought that went through my head was, I wonder if actually they're replacing her and this is all just a thing. But that's just speculation. Now, some website somewhere decides to air their speculation, fair enough. Say, hey, same day, this other girl says she's going to be in Spider-Man 3. Is this the replacement for Woodley? But then people took that and ran with it. And that's what people, oh my gosh, I hate it when we do this as a fan community. We're like jumping all over this whole idea that, somebody mentioned it once. Oh, it's fact. Did you hear that Shailene Woodley's out? It's not fact. Nobody's confirmed this. Nobody has said that Shailene Woodley is out as Mary Jane. Now, that's not to say that it might not be the case. Of course it's possible. It's absolutely possible. But this whole notion that some people are going around with saying, now Shailene Woodley's shooting schedule doesn't jive since they moved her out of Spider-Man 2 into Spider-Man 3. That's nonsense. Of course she knew she was supposed to be in Spider-Man 3 in the first place. She's got her schedule all lined up. So, it's possible that it's true, but it's definitely not fact yet. It has not been confirmed. But I'm going to tell you right now why I have my doubts that this is true, that Shailene Woodley is out as Mary Jane. Here's why I doubt it. If I'm Mark Webb, and I'm replacing one of my actresses, I'm pulling a high-profile actress out of a high-profile role and a swap her out, I'm not going to say to the news reporters, no, I love working with this girl. The only reason we've pulled it out of Spider-Man 2 is for story reasons. That's all. We love working with her. And then secretly actually replace her and then allow the actress we've got replacing her announce to the world, I'm in Spider-Man 3, when I've got a year that I could make that announcement from now. It just doesn't make any sense to me that all that would be announced on the same day if they were trying to keep this under wraps. Makes no sense to me. So it could be that Shailene Woodley is out as Mary Jane. It's possible. But I kind of doubt it because of the timing of all this. Amy Rose, when you look at the timing and the order of all this is coming in, does it make sense that Shailene Woodley is out, or do you share my opinion that maybe it raises doubts?
I think it raises doubts because I do think that everything I've seen about Mark Webb, I think that, and the studios in general, they don't want bad publicity around their film. And to go ahead and say, she's out because she doesn't fit in the picture, but really the secret is that we didn't like her, but we hired this other actress who's better for it. I think they would have more class than that. Maybe I'm hopeful in thinking they would have more class than that, but I do think it's just perhaps a coincidence in timing. And everyone, of course, wants answers because we don't know the full story. We're never really going to know the full story unless they want to tell it to us. So I do think that the timing is very interesting, but I'd like to believe that Sony has more, obviously protecting their best interest, and I don't think that this would potentially be a really bad rap for them and for Shailene. And from everything I've read and seen about her, she seems like a sweetheart who wouldn't, just piss off Mark Webb for this reason. So I don't think that she will end up being Mary Jane, but it's possible. We'll see in time, but I do think the timing is just a coincidence and that they probably are more professional than that. To be like, she's out, she's in, oh wait,
Yeah, and I like Shailene Woodley a lot too, but I've said from the beginning she would never be my pick to play Mary Jane, but I like her, and I'm curious to see what she would do if it all works out.
Do you have a pick? I'm curious.
Not off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I probably did at some point, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to venture a guess right now off the top of my head.
Yeah.
All right, folks, listen, we've reached that part of the show for buy and sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Clark Wolf has got a number of other items in the world of movie news that she's going to run through. Then Amy Rose and I are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Clark, what do we got?
As most of you know, there is a 5th Terminator film on the way. Next to nothing is known about the project at this point other than it's happening. However, a new report has surfaced that the producers of the film are actively courting Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to star in the film, although no word on what kind of role he will play. The unconfirmed report also claims that Terminator 5 will be set before the birth of Sarah Connor and focus on her parents in the 40s and 50s. This scenario would once again involve a Terminator being sent back in time to kill a target, only this time it's decades before the attempts on Sarah Connor and John Connor. John, buy or sell these Rock and Terminator rumors?
Okay, so let's assume both of these are true. And that's a wild assumption because these are not confirmed. So let's assume for a second. I have 2 answers. Buy The Rock in the Terminator. I mean, Rock is the biggest movie star in the world right now. I would put that dude in Shakespeare. It wouldn't be good Shakespeare, but I'd pay to see it. So yeah, I could totally see The Rock in a Terminator franchise, absolutely. But I sell this notion of the Terminator being Terminator 5 being about going back in time again to kill somebody's parents to stop somebody from being born again. Been there, done that for 3 films. Don't need it anymore. Get over this. Okay, yeah, it was a great idea at first. Time traveling back to kill somebody so somebody else won't be born. We've done that for 3 movies already. Don't give it to us again. Unless you're talking about a fresh reboot, then I might have a little bit of forgiveness. But buy The Rock being in Terminator, sell this concept of Terminator that's being rumored. Amy Rose?
By The Rock is a Terminator. Look at him. Like, he straight up is. Like, he's not only charming, but he can also do the dramatic chops necessary for a film like this. Not to mention, there is a little comedy in the Terminator franchise as well.
Yeah.
So I think that he's good. I wouldn't really like him in Shakespeare, but I do think he'd be a good fit for Terminator. I don't know enough about what they're planning to sell the concept. I mean, it has worked in the past. Terminator 2 still remains one of my favorite films of all time. But, before Sarah and then, I can't say that I'm like, ooh, great idea. But I don't feel like I have enough details to determine if it's going to work or not. So I'm still optimistic, and Arnold's back, so we'll see how this one unfolds.
The new Brad Pitt zombie apocalypse movie, World War Z, is now in AMC theaters everywhere, and although the film just opened, Pitt is already talking about the chances of a sequel, saying, "There is enough to mine from the book. We could barely get a fraction of the book in, so we'll see. We'll see." Amy Rose, buy or sell World War Z possibly turning into a franchise?
I'm going to sell it at this point. I haven't seen the film yet. The trailers did not really, captivate me. They kind of look cheesy. I love a good zombie film. I really do. But, I didn't read the books either, so I don't have that prior knowledge of it. But from what I've seen, I can't say I'm too excited about it. Reviews have been kind of mixed. So, yeah.
For me, it's going to be a buy. I finally saw World War Z, and I like it. I didn't love it, but I did like it. It's a solid film, and it's very, very ripe. As a narrative, it's ripe for lots and lots of sequels. They set it up that way. Whether it'll be financially successful enough to do it, I have my doubts. But in principle, it's something I buy.
It's been announced that Columbia Pictures is developing a sequel to the 2011 comedy Bad Teacher and is aiming to have Cameron Diaz to return, although no deal with the actress has been finalized yet. The original film's budget was a modest $20 million, and it took in over $216 million at the worldwide box office. John, buy or sell a Bad Teacher 2?
I'm going to buy this, actually. But Bad Teacher was a charming little innocent, almost like sitcom film with some really nice little performances, some very innocent humor. I love Jason Segel. So sign me up. I'm on board. I buy.
I'm going to sell it. Cameron Diaz does not do it for me. I have not really enjoyed her since The Mask. She was beautiful and wonderful in that. And the sweetest thing with Christina Applegate was also funny and quirky, but I don't think she's that great of an actress. So if she's the lead, I'm out.
Yesterday, 20th Century Fox announced the release dates for several of its major film projects, but among them, the most interesting announcement was the official release date for Independence Day 2, set for July 3rd, 2015, essentially confirming that the long-awaited sequel is indeed coming. There is still no word if Will Smith will be returning. Amy Rose, buy or sell a release date for Independence Day 2 without Will Smith signed on yet?
I'll buy it. I don't think that's uncommon, for a film to actually start forming before they lock in the stars. To be like, okay, the stars. We have the release date, we have the director, we have this, the script's in motion. Now let's get the big boy, Will Smith. So I don't think it's uncommon.
I gotta sell this. While I'm looking forward to an Independence Day 2, just for the fun popcorn value of it, the idea of saying, okay, now we're in motion. Look, you either have your script with Will Smith in it, or you don't have your script with the Will Smith character in it. And so I'm kind of wondering, what do you have, Emmerich? Do you got like 2 versions of the script kicking around? Just come out definitively say, look, Smith, you want in? Tell me right now. You're not telling me right now? Fine, you're out. We're moving ahead without you. Just do that and move forward. Like, quit playing around. So, and if you haven't done that yet, don't give us a release date yet. So for me, it's a sell. All right, folks. Listen, we've reached that part of the show for Mailbag. Here's how we're going to do it. If you've got a topic or a question you'd like us to address on air, you can email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Now, we try to get through 2 or 3 emails on the show every single day, but you guys send us hundreds of emails a day, so we've started a new show called AMC Mailbag that's going to air on the AMC Movie News YouTube channel on Saturdays and Sundays, where all we do is talk mailbag questions. It's much more casual. We don't really pay attention to the clock, so make sure you check that out. So for now, Clark's got a couple of messages pulled out of the mailbag. So Clark, what do we got?
Josh De La Rosa writes, "Hey guys, I recently started watching your show a few months ago, and I gotta say I am very impressed. This thought came to me a few days ago, and I'm curious to know what you would make of it. Since Kevin Feige recently announced that Doctor Strange will be appearing in the MCU in some capacity in Phase 3, do you think it's possible that he, as in Doctor Strange, could be responsible for Agent Coulson's miraculous revival?"
It's a fair question. It's a fair question because, apparently Agent Coulson dies in Avengers. Spoiler. And obviously he's coming back for the TV series, and I believe he's going to be back in Avengers 2 as well. I had a chance to have actually drinks with Clark Gregg in Vegas a couple of months ago, and we were talking about that. Anyway, the bottom line, though, is this. I think suggesting that Doctor Strange is the one who miraculously brings back I think that's a bit of a stretch. I believe it's much more simple than that. I said coming out of Avengers the first time I saw it, oh, he's not really dead.
Me too.
Like that's exactly. I said that the moment I walked out of Avengers, the first time I saw it. Okay, he's not really dead. Agent Nick Fury, he just said he's dead to motivate Iron Man and whatever, and that's how he got the Captain America trading cards. I don't believe for a second he's actually dead, and I believe that's probably the angle they're going to take. I don't think they'll go as fantastical as Doctor Strange rising him from the dead, although that would be kind of interesting if they did, but I don't think that's the way they're going to go with it. Amy Rose, how do you see it?
Would I love to see that? Oh yeah, I think that'd be so great. But yeah, I mean, Agent Coulson's like the glue that holds this universe together.
Yeah, it really is.
He really is. And Clark Gregg is the nicest, most wonderful man. And same thing. I never really thought he was dead. The Avengers needed some motivation there, and Nick Fury's the man to do it. And everyone loved Coulson. So I never really thought he was dead either. And I think those Captain America trading cards are going to come back and in full effect with the story. And yeah, I don't think he's dead. So, but that would be fun. That's a fun thought.
All right. Gareth Lewis writes, "Hi all, been watching the show for about 6 weeks now, and I am loving every second of this and Mailbag. Keep up the sterling work, my friends." Thank you, Gareth, you kindly gentleman. Anyway, my question. If Nolan's Batman trilogy is a self-contained work that doesn't exist in the new DC movie universe, as John keeps saying, then how come the Wayne Enterprise logo on the satellite that Zod and Soup smashed through is the exact same one as the Dark Knight trilogy? Surely this is a direct nod to the fact that it is indeed the same universe.
Oh, dear God. First of all, Garrett, thank you for the question. I'm toying with you here just a bit. I'm gonna yank your chain a bit here, but no, it's look, that the logo's the same. That means it's the same universe. Let me give you an analogy. Saying that because the Wayne Enterprise logo is the same, kind of like saying, wait a minute, that's the same Superman S that Christopher Reeve did. That means that Henry Cavill is actually just a duplicate and Christopher Reeve's going to come back. No, that makes no sense. But saying that just because the Wayne logo is the same on an Easter egg, by the way, it's just an Easter egg. Saying that logo being on the satellite means it's the same Batman universe as the Christopher Nolan universe, despite everything Christopher Nolan has said, insisting over and over and over again that his Batman universe is done. It was self-contained. It does not stretch beyond the third film. That's not me saying it. That's Christopher Nolan saying it. To say that is like saying, me coming home to my wife, and she's saying, hey, John, where were you today? And I say, I was at work. I was at the AMC Burbank 16, doing movie talk, running movie news, having a good time with everybody. My wife says, well, it's funny you should say that because I see a blade of grass on the bottom of your shoe. I surmise that means you got on a plane, flew to Chicago, was at Wrigley Field for a baseball game, you got to walk on the field and meet the players, and then you came home. I got all of that because there's a blade of grass on the bottom of your shoe. That's what we're saying by saying, oh, the logo on the satellite is like that logo. That means this is the same Batman universe. No, it doesn't. My brothers and sisters of movie fandom, listen to me. Batman's done. Christopher Nolan's Batman is done. It's finished. Christian Bale's not coming back. There is Robin, whatever. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is not going to be Batman. It's not going to be a continuation of the story. It's finished. It's done. We've said it 1,000 times. Christopher Nolan has said it 1,000 times. What more do you need? Do you need Christopher Nolan to sneak into your house in the middle of the night, creep into your bedroom, lovingly pull down the sheets, give you a nice little tray of candles and scented aromas, and say, look, listen, it's okay, but the movie's done? Is that what you need to finally believe it? It's over. Amy Rose, your thoughts?
All right, let's all take a breath, bring it back in a little bit. Quite the analogy, yes. I do share your sentiments. I don't think it was a nod. I mean, a lot of people, like you were just saying with Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, they're like, oh, it's Robin. No, it's Nightwing. It's just like, Nolan does that sometimes. And, you know, as much as we would all love to believe that he is going to set, you know, the groundwork for all DC films moving forward, and I would love if his Gotham was seen in other films and all that good stuff, but I don't think it was a nod. I think it was just a coincidence. But that would be great. Soup Smash. It totally just makes me think of Hulk Smash. Soup Smash. But I would love that. And, you know, Man of Steel 2 is on the way. And even though Christopher Nolan isn't locked yet, I do hope that Snyder and him continue to pave the way because Man of Steel was a great film. And I want to see more DC Universe stepping it up like that.
All right, folks, listen, we've reached the end of our show today. That's all the items we got for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Listen, make sure what you do next is very important. Click the subscribe button. Become a subscriber to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. Keep you up to date on everything going on in the world of movie news, and of course our daily AMC Movie Talk show, and now our AMC Mailbag show over the weekends, as well as our special editorials. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/AMC Theaters. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/AMC Theaters. And if you want to listen to an audio-only version of this episode, go down into the description of this video, and you'll find links to our iTunes and Stitcher Radio, so you can listen to us on the way to work. I want to thank, as always, our lovely host, Miss Clark Wolf.
Thank you so much,
Where can
John.
people find you online, Clark?
I'm on Twitter, Clark with an E, Wolf with an E, and Facebook is official Clark Wolf.
Our very own associate editor of movie news here at AMC Movie Talk, Miss Amy Rose Eisenbach. Amy Rose, where can people find you?
Thanks, guys. At Amy Rosie, AMIROSIE on Twitter.
And you can find me on Twitter and Facebook too, but you probably aren't interested in that. Thank you so much for joining us, folks. My name is John Campia for AMC Movie News, and until next time, bye-bye.